YouTube ads are crushing it right now, and you should too. In today's video, I'll show you how to create YouTube ads that actually convert regardless if you're a YouTube beginner or expert. Let's begin. Hey, it's Jaime. If we're just meeting, welcome to the channel that brings actionable content to grow your business through online marketing. So if that sounds beneficial, consider subscribing. All right, so what is meant when you hear YouTube ads? What are people talking about? What are YouTube ads about? What's the opportunity? Let's focus on that for a quick second. If you've been on YouTube any length of time, you've clicked on a video and then an ad similar to this has appeared. And then you see a little countdown clock down here that starts at 5 before you can skip the video or skip the ad to get to the video. That's what an actual YouTube ad is. This is known as an in-stream ad. Another type of ad is a search ad. Whenever you type in something like how to sell a house or really anything that you're trying to find information about, the first ones, assuming that people are advertising for those keywords or searches, the first slots are reserved for ads. You see here, Open Door is advertising, and then Up Next is also advertising, and they get redirected over to their website. So these are search-based ads. So there's a ton of opportunities here when it comes to advertising on YouTube because people are on here by the masses. There's over 2 billion users on YouTube alone every single month, and they're here consuming video more than ever before, and that number continues to rise. It is not going down by any stretch of the imagination. So more and more people are gravitating towards YouTube for answers, for services, and this is a huge opportunity that you don't want to miss out on. All right, so let's go over to creating the actual YouTube ad. I'm going to show you how to actually do that. And if this looks like a Google Ads setup, it's because it is. Google owns YouTube, so very similar to the way that Facebook owns Instagram, you run Instagram ads on the Facebook platform. Same thing here, you run YouTube ads on the Google Ads platform. To get started, just click on the campaign, launch a new campaign. To give you a quick synopsis, the first 3 require for you to set up a conversion. In order for you to do that, you're going to go to Tools, Settings, and go to Conversions. A conversion is telling YouTube what event you actually deem worthy, whether that's a sale or whether that's a lead. So what's converted into the action that you wanted, that gave you a lead or that gave you money for the product. So those are what conversions are. And in order to run these first 3 ads or the first 3 goal types, you do need to have a conversions set up. So that's for sales, that's for leads, and that's for website traffic. And as you click through, you see there's various other forms of marketing, but the YouTube ad specifically is on the video forefront. Here, not so much. Same thing with leads. Video right there, and then video right there. So again, you need a conversion for the first 3 in order for it to actually work. And then over here, the only one that's not going to have a video is the app promotion. When you go to product and brand consideration and you go to brand awareness, you're going to have the video. But again, to launch these first 3 ads, you need to have a conversion set up in order for them to work the way that they're supposed to work and optimize for your conversions. For our purposes, we're actually going to start off without a goal guidance. That's what all these are. Essentially, when you select a goal guidance on the back end, as soon as you click through, YouTube is going to set up some templates, so you just highlight this, highlight that, and you're off and running. So it guides you through the solution rather than starting from square one. So when you go to create a campaign without a goals guidance, it's going to give you the most options. as YouTube is not pigeonholing you or boxing you in with the type of ad that you want to run. It's going to break it wide open so you have the most flexibility as you're running ads. We're going to go to video as we are running a YouTube ad. And as you can see here, it gives us a ton more options. I'll give you the comparison. If you go to brand and consideration and go to video, you see 3 options. You can do ad sequence and shopping. But when you go to this campaign a campaign without a goals guidance, you click on video, you have all these other options. We are going to do a custom video campaign, which allows us to do bumper ads, allows us to do in-stream ads, and allows us to do discovery ads, which I'll cover here in a little bit. The non-skippable in-stream ads, those are very similar to the ones that we just saw here. The only difference is that it's 15 seconds and you have no option to skip through. So you can advertise up to 15 seconds right here without giving people the option to skip through to watch their ad. They have to watch your ad, and the maximum length is 15 seconds. The outstream has more to do with phones, tablets, and apps. So we're not going to cover that in too much detail. Drive conversions, get more conversions with video ads designed to encourage valuable interaction. So this drive conversions, when you go to leads as an example and click video, you can see that that's the only option. So that's why I'm mentioning that if you're going to run these first 3 actions, those first 3 goals, you need to have your conversions set up. All right, so we're going to go back. And then the ad sequence just means that you can advertise several different ads in sequence. So if somebody watches your ad here, they go to the next sequence. If they watch this ad here, then they go to the next one. If they don't watch your first ad, then they're not migrating over to the next one. That is a goal guidance, or that's a criteria that you get to select. And then shopping, promote relevant products, and get people to shop on your website with skippable in-stream ads. So that's in-stream ads is important. So coming back to that first bullet point where we can spend a few more seconds here. In-stream ads are the ones that I just shared with you. In-stream ads can be pretty much as lengthy as you want. They don't have a limit. You just copy it in here, and as long as people are still interested, they'll still be watching your ad. But the moment, after 5 seconds, but the moment that they're tired of it, after 5 seconds, they can click off and go to their video. The bumper ads are 6 seconds in length. Very similar to the 15-second, except the difference is the length. So bumper ads are 6 seconds in length. And then video discovery ads are what you see around here, what you see around other videos that you can click through and advertise on. And then as far as the naming campaign, everyone has their own methodology. But what I like to do from the campaign level, I like to call out everything that I'm going to advertise on in that particular campaign. So I would put the date first. And then selecting if it's going to be a CPV, so cost per view, or CPM. And here I would go with the daily, $10. Delivery method, standard or acceleration. Standard is going to stay within the ballpark of your daily budget. Acceleration means if the demand is there, if the search is there, spend the money as quickly as possible. And then search networks, this is where you have the options of being in the search results, where you see right here, this is your search ad. The YouTube videos and channel pages and YouTube homepage. So this is right here and around here, along with the YouTube homepage, which is mainly more on your mobile. And then the video partners on the display network. The display network is outside of YouTube. So to avoid wasting a ton of money from the very outset, I suggest that you don't go with the display network. The reason being is you don't necessarily know where your ads are going to show up until they show up. You can add exclusions without getting too technical, you can add exclusions on the back end. However, you're just not going to know until you spend some money and you find that you're on a website that you may not want to be on. Then you can exclude it. All right, so we are going to just stay on YouTube videos. Ads can appear on YouTube videos, channel pages, and the YouTube homepage. You can use in-stream and video discovery ads. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to continue and we're going to label this YouTube videos. So YouTube network. We're going to stay with standard. Oh, sorry, I'm lost track. We're going to go with English. And as far as where we want to target, let's just say Texas for the sake of advertising in Texas. And notice one key distinction here. Whenever you go to advanced search, you can select radius and all that fun stuff. If you have run Google Ads in the past, we're talking about YouTube right now, but if you have run Google Ads in the past, you had the distinction of selecting people that were interested in the geography that you highlighted, or selecting selected only people that are frequently in the area, essentially that live in the area. So there's a difference, people that are interested in and those people that actually live in. You can't make that distinction when you using YouTube ads. The way that I like to explain it is most of the changes or most of the features that make their way to Google Ads first will eventually make their way over to YouTube ads. So just be aware of that. And I'll make one other distinction here in a few seconds. All right, so then I'll just put Texas and the type of ad. I don't necessarily know what I'm going to be advertising. Let's just get a link, whatever it is. Avocados are so expensive, whatever that is. It's not my video, but I'll just, for the sake of our tutorial, I'll show you what that looks like. So we'll just put avocados. So I know the ad that I'm going to be running. I'm not going to call out the ad set at the moment because if I was split testing, then the campaign, it doesn't make sense for the campaign to have different ad sets that I'm advertising to. It'll make sense here in a little bit. As far as inventory type, I'm going to leave it as standard. Limited inventory means if you want to control your brand and don't want to risk showing your advertisement in very sensitive content or very, just either profanity or sexually explicit content, then you can restrict the inventory, restrict where your ads will actually show. But for the most part, standard is where most people are going to land. If you don't care where your ads show, then you can just go expanded inventory. And as long as they've monetized their channel, the people, the creators, then your ads are going to show everywhere. So no big deal. For most of my advertisements, actually on all of my advertisements, I go with the standard inventory. That gives me plenty of impressions and gives me an opportunity to stand out. The excluded content, this is going away, but effectively this is doing the same thing that is being shared up here on the inventory type. So that's why they're actually removing this. And then on the excluded types and labels for the advertisements that I run, which are mostly real estate in general, so for real estate leads, I exclude the embedded videos and live streaming videos. The reason I do that is if somebody is going to a live stream, they're going there to engage most likely and going to be there present. So the fact that I have my ad in front of that live stream, it doesn't give me the most chances or the most optimal chances of them acting on that spot and going away from that live event that they wanted to go and look at and go over and take action on my ad. So that's why I exclude these. The rest, I leave them as they are. It won't necessarily matter for what I do, but depending on what you're advertising, then you can exclude them along the way. And as far as optimization, when you click here, you see that I am doing a conversion action of seller conversion. That is a conversion that I'm trying to optimize for. And it's going to give me choose conversion actions for this campaign. To use this option, you need more than one conversion action. So this goes back to the difference between Google ads and YouTube ads. Here, if you're trying to convert for seller leads, buyer leads, a certain product, and then another product, then if you go and select different actions, you're trying to convert for all of them at once. It doesn't allow you to select one that you're specifically trying to target. So what does that mean? Let's say you launch a campaign and you're wanting to advertise for the seller conversions only. Well, you're not going to have that option. The only reason that this is here is because this is the only conversion that I've set up. Now, if I wanted to run another campaign that I'm trying to optimize for a buyer conversion, then it's going to advertise for both of them regardless. On Google Ads, you have the option of selecting this campaign, I'm going to go for sellers. This campaign, I'm going to go with buyers. This campaign, I'm going to go for investors. But on YouTube, you can't do that. Which, again, this is highlighting that whatever happens on YouTube ads is going to take a little bit, whatever features are added to Google ads will eventually make it over to YouTube ads. So depending on when you watch this, chances are that it's not ready to go, because as it stands right now, it isn't. Then you can select the devices that you want to advertise on. If you want to do all of the devices or exclude some along the way, you can certainly do that. By rule, I typically take out the TV screens. There's not too much action, too many conversions that I get from TV screens anyway. Tablets, depending on what I'm advertising, I'll exclude tablets because typically people that have tablets, they'll hand it over to a crying kid or a crying baby. So they're just going straight through and I don't need them adding to my marketing budget and not buying. The frequency capping, depending on the size of your audience. So this audience is quite large. So I'm not concerned about capping the impressions or capping the views, although I can. So if you wanted to cap the amount of times that somebody views your content, you can put one right there and you can select per week. By most of my campaigns, that's what I do. I like to do 3 impressions per week and then 1 view per week. So I don't cause this ad fatigue that many marketers tend to do, but it depends on what you're advertising for. Then on the ad schedule, you can block off when you don't want your ads to actually show up. When you get to your ad group, this is everything that we've been doing has been for the campaign. What we just went through. And now we get to the ad group, which is essentially it's the ad set. This is who you want to see your ads. You can select based off of demographics. One tip that I can give you here is if you are trying to target just females, I suggest that you exclude the male portion but leave the unknown, because there's a lot of people that don't highlight this or don't identify either in the female or male, or they just put unknown. So Google won't necessarily know that. So if you're trying to target females, you're missing out of a ton of females that are in the unknown. So that's a tip. And very much the same methodology on the rest of them. If you're trying to target just the top 10%, then I suggest that you leave the unknown, because these unknown, Google doesn't know yet, or Google does not have that information. Same with parents. You just don't want to miss out on that additional traffic is what I'm driving at. And when it comes to audiences, the most important part is right here. You can target based off of who they are, so their demographics, whether they're parents or not, parents of the ages, and then you see marital status, if they're married or not. Let's hide this. Education, they went to college or university, whatever the case may be. Home ownership status. Wow, these aren't very friendly. Home ownership status, if they're homeowners or renters, so that's who they are. What their interests and habits are. So that is something that affinity, that's what their customary actions are, what they typically do. and you can target based off of interest. So if they're regular people that are constantly in politics, you can highlight that. Or if they're people that are constantly, if they're foodies, or if they're coffee drinkers, you can highlight them. Again, this is their affinity. This is what they typically do. What they are actively researching or planning. So the affinity is what they typically do, but then the in-market, which is right here, in-market, life events, and custom intent, what they are actively researching, that's abnormal from their affinity. That's abnormal from what they're typically doing. So if all of a sudden they start going to moving.com, Zillow.com, Trulia.com, U-Haul.com, then Google starts getting that information and YouTube starts getting that information. Again, they're one and the same. Then that's telling them, oh, hey, they're actively researching something. So they're either they're relocating, they're looking to buy, they're looking to sell, they're looking to do something. So they are actively in market. That means they are in market to make a purchase. And here are the categories that you can select. When you go to in market, autos, so most likely that they are shopping for vehicles, new or used, brand, type. So you can see that you can get very drilled down. And everything that you're seeing here, you can use on the Google ad side. But right now what we're doing is the YouTube ad side, which is super powerful. And then how they've interacted with your business. So if you have a YouTube channel, if you've been running ads, you can actually retarget to those people. Or if you have a YouTube channel and are constantly producing content, then you can select by users and retarget them along the way. So that is super powerful. And if you want to combine what, let's see, the people that interacted with your business plus an interest or plus their in-market status, what they're looking for, then you would go to combined and you would create a new combined audience and match those along the way. So you create a new custom combined audience that you feel will ultimately convert for your business. So that is super powerful. And then when it comes to content, it's where you want your ads to show up. Keywords is what we're most familiar with, the searches that you do. So if people that are looking for, let's say, where to buy a car for cheap, or what's the best car to buy in 2020, or what's the best clothing line for X, Y, and Z, or whatever the case may be, you would put in the keywords that you want your ads to show up in front of, for the videos that you want to show up in front of, and that's through the keyword. So again, this is what most people are familiar with as the example: how to buy a house, how to sell a house, or where's the best real estate agent near me, where's the best life insurance agent, all that type of information. When you go to topics, the best way that I can describe topics is when you go to a meetup group, as an example, let's just say a real estate investment group, a meetup group, you generally know what they're going to talk about. That's what topics are. When you go to a convention, let's just say you went to the Twitch convention, you know what they're generally going to be talking about. If you go to a real estate agent convention, you know what the topics are going to be around. It's going to be how to be a better real estate agent, how to get more business, how to manage your business, and a lot of real estate related information. So in conventions, as the example, in conventions, there are vendors that come to that convention and they sell because they know the market that is there. They know that real estate agents are there and they need a CRM, they need a website, they need ways to get leads, they need closing gifts, they need all this information. So think of yourself as that vendor because you know what's being covered here. You know what the real estate convention is about. So you as the vendor, you come in because that audience is valuable to you because they can be your customers. That's what topics are. That's the actual convention portion. You are the vendor, which you select real estate as an example. And these are the topics that are generally being talked about. These are the topics that are being highlighted. Same with pets, science. Let's go through sports just so you see some different examples. Combat sports, college sports, animal sports, extreme sports. So this is what topics are about. And then when you go to placements, you can select to be in front of those YouTube channels that are monetized. You can select YouTube videos, the content that's popular, websites. So you can select the websites that people are interested in. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. You can select websites and be placed on those websites if you go through the display network, which I kind of lost it right here, but it's up towards the top. For what we're doing, it's not going to make sense, but since we're running an in-stream ad, you can do it based off of YouTube channels, YouTube videos. Again, if you want to appear in the in-stream ads before their videos actually show up, then they will have to have their channel monetized in order for you to do that. So your videos can automatically play. And then you can select specific videos if you would want. Let's just say right there, Jaime Resendez. You're going to find my channel. So if you wanted to advertise on my channel, or if you wanted to go specifically on certain videos that I've highlighted, and you can go one-on-one and select all of them, or you can go to YouTube, search for them, copy that link and bring it back over and enter it in the multiple placements. Well, I'll show you an example right now. Let's just say this. We're going to go left, click, copy link address. You'd come to placements, add placements, and there you go. I would be running my ad, assuming that this ad was running, assuming this video would be running ads, I would be showing up right here. And then on the bidding, $1 is a good place to start. Most of your traffic, most of your cost per views will be less than $1. So $1 is pretty aggressive, and you're going to be getting impressions and you're going to be getting views with your ad. Now, if you're finding that you're not getting views with $1, then you would need to bump it up. But for most topics, $1 is a reasonable starting bid for you to advertise adequately. All right. And then remember, we just selected a random video, and it was an avocado video. So I'm just going to paste it here. Ideally, it's going to be your video. I mean, it should be your video, what you're advertising for. So you have a call to action in driving people to your products. You would just copy the link there. Then you would go to skippable in stream. For our example today, I'm just going to drive traffic straight back to that video that I just randomly selected. But for you, you would create a specific call to action, a specific video that highlights your product, that highlights the reason that they should go and check it out. And where you're sending those people would be either to your website or to your landing page / sales funnel, wherever you want them to go and check out more information about it before they give you their information and become a lead, or before they purchase your product. So that's where the URL fits into place. And then the display URL, you can shorten it, but the key here is that the display URL needs to redirect to the final URL. No bait and switch. The call to action, avocados is long, so I'm just gonna say buy avo. Again, terrible example. I should have selected a better video. And then headline, let's just say best avocados, maybe. Yep. Then if you are tracking if you have a tracking template, if you're tracking your conversions and you have a system set up to do that, this is where you would inject your code. That's beyond the scope of this video. I don't want to confuse you. So I'm just going to leave that there. If you have a tracking template, if you have a tracking code, a system that you've set up to track your conversions, then this is where you would go and do that. So every time you get a lead, it fires off this unique code so you can match them up and see which campaigns are actually converting for you. And then you can upload an image if you would like, but I just have it auto-generate the thumbnail, the banner that is already included in the video, because it formats it the way that it's going to best show up for your audience. You create the campaign and then you're off and running. This is the YouTube ads way to get leads, to get business, to get sales. And it is, as you can see, there are just so many different ways to reach your end user. So I highly encourage you to check out YouTube ads because it is a phenomenal platform for you to grow your business. If you found value in this video today, please be sure to hit the subscribe button so we can talk again soon.